Hi guys! Hope everybody's having a good day. We're slowly getting started on our live here. Just waiting for my baby daddy. Just kidding, my husband. And then we'll also wait for our guest, Michael. He will be on here soon, so we're just waiting around, waiting for them, and yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. We're going to be talking about, we're getting to know Michael as well. You guys will get to know us a little bit, some more, or maybe some of the things that we've already mentioned. If you haven't checked out on our YouTube channel, we do talk about us. We have some videos on there with a Q&A as well. Make sure you visit that. You can look us up with our Indigenous Traditions on YouTube. So yeah, we're just gonna wait for a little bit. I just did that. Hi, Alma. Okay, so Michael is on.
Nice question.
Okay.
There he is. Where is he at? There he comes. He's blonde. What's up, man?
Hello. How's it going?
Doing
Okay,
good.
we can hear you now.
You guys can hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
All right.
Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
Okay.
Good to see you guys.
It's delayed about 4 seconds.
I know. Cody's gonna wait for Johnny to come here. But how you doing, Michael?
Pretty good.
Good. Haven't spoken to you in a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got cut off.
Next off. You're still there, right?
Yeah, I still got you.
Okay. Just checking, trying to get this figured out right now. So what's new?
Nothing much, man. Just I go to work and I go home, and if I get to travel, I get to travel in the meantime, you know.
The
And
COVID
then
life?
other times it's like, okay, we're not working all week. Okay, what do I do with myself? So you figure out something to make, or I have a whole table full of stuff, and then it's just like, maybe I'll watch a movie today. Maybe I won't work on anything. So yeah, other than that, that's like, okay, my life's pretty simple. We're not working.
All right. Got it figured out.
So turn it on from here.
All right, so we want to get this podcast thing going, right? Something like that. Oh, the baby's crying. The kids are sleeping right now.
I think you got his food.
Can you see me? Can you see me?
Michael, can you see Johnny?
Maya?
Yeah, I can see him.
Maya?
I can see him.
Am I squeezing more?
Yeah.
You see me?
Wait, no, I think you're
Sleeping good.
But yeah, getting this podcast thing going, getting other people's stories up and running. So let's see. A lot of noise in the background. But that's for you.
Nothing much, man. I'm just, like I said, I'm just here. You know, sometimes I'll put a, you know, I don't know if you actually check out any of the live streams that I do. I usually, you know, put up something just because I get inspired by, you know, a learning lesson throughout the day or something popped in my head, kind of like a reiteration of maybe an old learning lesson that I came across, or maybe a part that I missed myself. Other than, uh, I was telling stories on the social distance powwow, sharing stories in that regard because, you know, you know me, is as much as long as you guys probably know me, and and in my years of service, I did 8 years active duty, United States Marine Corps. And throughout my travels, I went, you know, I went across the world and I went across the states. And then on top of that, I was kind of off the powwow trail for a lot of years since I left. But in the meantime, I was really trying to attend ceremonies. And so at ceremonies, I meet a lot of what do you call it, elders and knowledge keepers and spiritual leaders. Sometimes I just get lucky. You know, I get lucky with, you know, maybe one of the elders or one of the knowledge keepers or one of the spiritual leaders would, you know, bring me aside and, you know, tell me something good, tell me a story, a teaching, something. And then so to me, I just figured, you know, as I was getting older, and then I was, you know, I got into Sundance and I got into some traditional ceremonies, and then a lot of the time that would happen was some of these teachings would come up in lodge. You know, we're sitting there sweating, and some of those teachings would come up, and then I was sitting there sometimes, you know, I'd just be thinking to myself out loud, like sometimes I forget these things.
Yeah.
And so I just thought to myself to, you know, be one of these people that's not one of these, I guess, like knowledge hoarders or whatever you want to call them. You know, 'cause that happens. I've met people even from your tribe where they know your language,
Yeah.
man. They know it, and they
Let me
don't
see
teach
real quick.
nobody but their own family. And it's like sad. Like, why won't you do that? If you're preserving culture, you're preserving. They say your language has a DNA. It's like it's a genetic codex to yourself. When you go
Right
to
here, man. It's
ceremony,
right here.
you see,
The
right there.
dictionary.
It's our dictionary.
I gotta do the same thing. See,
Yeah, see? Gotta share, bro.
I'm the only one that's missing mine.
Oh.
I gotta go get one.
Yeah, so I just figured, you know, it's kind of sad when it comes down to when we have these stories, we have these teachings, we have this language, and someone might need it. Someone's going to need it somewhere down the line. And I figured one of these days, I go, you know, I'm gonna really sit with myself and just kind of meditate on everything I ever learned, try to remember it as best I can, because I started forgetting some stuff. So that's what was concerning me, because I'm only 42 years old, and I was like, damn, I'm forgetting stuff. What the heck? You ever stop in the living room, like, hey, you're gonna go to the kitchen, and you're probably gonna get yourself, you know, a cup of coffee, and all of a sudden you're just like,
That happens all the time.
what was I doing?
It's normal here. It's normal here. The little Rango person that stops and stares. Right there.
You know, and
What
so,
did she say?
What are you
It's a defense
doing?
mechanism.
I'm praying. She goes.
something,
Okay.
yeah, right. I was meditating on my breath because they say every breath is a prayer.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
my good excuse
Yeah,
right
Johnny.
Go breathe over there.
So, I think about those things. I don't want to forget these things. And if they were taught to me, I might as well teach them to everybody else and not be one of these hoarders that's just hoarding the language or hoarding stories. And good teachings, they're for everybody, you know. And I'm constantly saying this. Um, if it was given, I'm only taking care of it just for a little while. Somewhere down the line, I could die tomorrow. I could die right now. And if I didn't pass it on, you know, what was the point? You know, it's just like when one of us goes away, a little bit of our ways goes with us. So I don't want to do that. You know, so that's how I was seeing stuff, you know, with
That's what you
storytelling
like to
overall.
share on your Instagram.
Yeah, so I just it's all lessons and storytelling, and then with the social distance powwow. Like I said, the experience is a little bit different there because I'm one of these guys that, you know, I'm sorry, I don't, maybe it's a veteran thing, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna call people out if they're gonna call me out on like where I'm from, who I am, all that kind of thing. I'm just like, you know, full disclosure, this is not my story, because I'm not trying to say anything about your people, because the story was shared to me, but I'm the one telling it. And if you were so righteous, maybe you should be telling it instead of me, because you're from that side. You know, it was really pounded into them, because then it makes them think, dang, this guy's a prick. And I'm just like, well, I have to be a prick to protect myself, because I mean, guess what? I'm not trying to bow down. I already did that. You know, I served my time. I bowed down already. You know what I mean?
Dude, my posts.
People did that already.
I said my posts always get denied on that.
Oh, right.
I'm like, forget them now.
You know, like
It's all good.
is terrible. You know. So those are things that I kind of look at in regards to being a knowledge keeper and things like that. Just because, you know, I'm, you know, I said it before. You guys probably heard me before say it. Like, I'm like Luke Skywalker, and the whole world is Darth Vader.
That's
you know,
right.
and it's like I believe there's still good in people. That's how I see it. So I'm trying to see the good in people, and it's like, yeah, people send me hate mail and send me, you know, terrible things and things like that, and I just say, you know what, more power to you. You know, if that's how you feel, I got to see where you're coming from, because all I'm trying to do is just a good thing. And for every action, Newton's law, there's a equal and or opposite reaction, you know. So you try to put something good out there, you're probably gonna get a awkward or opposite reaction.
Yeah.
So that was my experience on the social distance powwow story page. But so now I'm just kind of trying to figure out the ropes with podcasting. Same thing. Like I really want to do some podcasting. With an interactive group, and this way it's like we have three of us here. This is cool because we can throw input out there in hopes to put a message that's, you know, something constructive. I'm not going to say it's good, it just has intention, you know. And so there's an intention there, and it has a vibration that is positive, I would say. Then in a sense we're trying to put something out there for people to kind of latch onto and relate to. So yeah, I'm tripping out on your memes, Johnny. You got me tripping, man. I'm tripping, man.
On the what?
Mean King, Johnny. All your memes.
Hey, man, I gotta share it. Can't be hoarding that stuff, man. But the thing is, I don't.
Wait. Okay. Hold on.
All right, you caught up? All right.
Wait, no, wait. You want to finish what you're saying, or let me start it all off?
I don't want to be hoarding it, and I don't like explaining my jokes. So if they don't understand them, they don't understand them, all right?
It's not for them.
All right? You don't get it, you don't get it, all right? I'm not going to explain and get everybody pissed. Only for that little niche is all I want. All right, go ahead.
Okay. I want to see a live reaction to somebody's meme, you know, like, hey, Johnny just posted this meme. I want to see, like, at least 10 people at the same time react at the same time, just because it's like, I want to see that face where Johnny gets to say, like, oh, it's my fault, you're stupid. Like,
I have so many DMs, they're so funny. Like, oh, these are hilarious, and then these keep them going. I'm like, these are funny, man. I'm sorry, but they're hilarious. Or what does this mean? She's your cousin. We always get mistaken as brother and sister here and there.
Oh, yeah.
And then, like as Yendi and Johnny Nieto, I don't know why. And then we go, yeah, we are, and then we kiss. And then walk away. All dumb. Just leave it as it is. We don't care. I don't know them, so what the hell?
Right, that's awesome, dude.
All right, you can handle it.
Okay.
Show us the intro.
Yeah. Now that we've gotten all comfortable, loosened up, so I wanted, let's see, we got a few viewers now, and so just wanted to introduce ourselves. I'm Yendi. Nieto, I'm Cachiquelmaye from my mom's side, and then from my dad's side, I'm Mexican.
Johnny Nieto from Tule River Indian Reservation out in Central California. All of it.
Michael?
I'm Michael Runningwind. I'm a descendant from the Six Nations, Ontario, Canada. I am Seneca, and I'm also Muscular Apache. So nice to meet everybody. You know, feel free to add if you like. It's good fun.
If you like cigarettes and knives.
Yeah, cigarettes and knives. I'm not
What's your?
saying a cigarette either.
You gotta get a PO box. What is your Instagram username?
Right now I'm under the road soda.
And all one, like
The underscore road underscore soda.
like
So there's
soda?
a little story behind it. Yeah, soda.
Go
Yeah,
for
there's a little story behind it. So me and my good buddy, his name is David Key. I hope he tunes in somewhere down the line. But David Key, we went to school together at the Art Institute of San Diego, and we both lived in Hawaii for a really long time, and we know a lot of the Kanakas out there.
Hey,
And
easy on that word, man. We got Thule viewers here.
Spirits are flowing, man. Spirits are really flowing.
Don't be trying to teach stuff on here, man. Those are for.
I'm gonna stop moving my hands, bro. Just like put some ropes on, man.
Hey, he said that live.
This is what it's
We should
about,
have
right?
sent you a little like rules of what to do, what not to do before the live.
Hold on.
Well, this is why we have you, so we can just. Hey, this is our first one too. Okay, everybody, I apologize. This is our first live.
so anywho, I'm gonna try not to move my hands so I get the Italian blood not flowing there. So my buddy, he'd always say like, "Hey, did you know that if you pour anything into like a big gulp cup or like any kind of cup, even a coffee mug, when you get in the car, it could be a beer, it could be whiskey, it could be water, it could be a concoction of some nature, it could be food. All they call it is a road soda. That's it. So it's just like you're just rolling and road soda. But the only thing is, it has to have bubbles. So I don't know how you put food in a cup and then make it have bubbles. That's interesting. But yeah, supposedly that's the rule. So I just said, I remember that. I'm gonna own that right now. I'm just gonna just say, the road soda. If I'm gonna have a show or something, I'm just gonna call it the road soda. It's just like, yeah, hold on, let me grab this remote real quick, just put it in here, and say it has bubbles.
So no matter what it is, they just say, "Oh, it's road soda."
Yeah, it's just called
like
the road soda. Because you're gonna go on a drive, so it's just like the road soda.
Oh, okay.
Very interesting. So I just thought it was cool. So I was just like, yeah, I dig it. Because I must have ate like raw fish out of a cup. I don't know how many times, and I was like, wow, that whole time was called a road soda. Didn't even know. So yeah, the road soda. If you guys want, you feel free to add me. I'm at the underscore road underscore soda. Here
You
on
guys want to
IG.
hear some good stories, learn some things from him. Make sure you follow him. He goes live a few times. I'm sure you post some of the videos too on your Instagram, right? Or your Facebook?
Yeah, on Instagram and on Facebook. I'm under Facebook at Hale. Hale is HALE
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Hale by. Yeah. Hale deep, Hale back. Hale by or Hale, they say hell Y. I mean, it's not hell Y, it's Hale by. So it means a waterhouse. So yeah, I had this whole vision about doing a waterhouse media thing, podcasting, videos, video production, media production, things like that down the line. It takes a long time to get licensed for all those, things. So it's just like I'm trying to get the services rendered. So it's a long process.
Oh.
With COVID, there's like paperwork and there's people that have to sign off and pass paperwork from point A to point B to get licenses for things like that. And so, what's up, big bro? Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm still aiming for. It just takes a long time, and you need a little bit of money because you have to have a forwarding name and all these kind of things for licensing and what nature, just in case somebody decides that they want to sue you. So it's like a big processing.
Has it been a longer process because of COVID, like them having to figure out how they're going to do things, or is this still the same, like being online?
Well, you can go online. I know that, and it's just like because there's stuff in the office. There's still someone that has to manually push a button to send something from point A to point B.
Oh,
It's, completely
State.
systematic where you can get it to
oh, okay.
a department real easy. So it's one of those long process kind of things. So I'm hoping in the near future that that's going to happen, and I'm working on it, just doing small production things. I don't know if you guys been following, but you guys seen some of the studio stuff that I was doing, and
Yeah, you
that was
never accept my live stuff. I just do it to mess with you.
oh man, I'm like, yeah, dude. I'm like, hold on, wait. And then sometimes it'll say, oh, you have a bad connection or whatever, and I can't add nobody. I'm just like, I'm talking to somebody for real. Gosh. So yeah, that's those are things I do, and it's a good time. I miss powwowing. I miss you guys. You guys are just there's my circle's small. I say it that way. My circle's small is because it's kind of stay away from drama and
Better.
negativity, bring you
Easier
down.
friendships. Yeah.
Yeah. When people get you and people flow with you, it's a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
not a little bit easier, a whole lot easier. So
Yeah, and even when we
yeah,
see each other, even if it's after a while, like as soon as we see each other, we just start joking around,
yeah.
laughing, and trying to catch up on with each other's life.
I
Mm-hmm.
love drama.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Office reference.
Oh man.
There you go. R.I.P. Netflix.
Yeah, yeah. Even that. It's just It's even that. It's hard to watch TV. It's hard to watch like stuff. It's because it's a veteran thing. I'd rather listen to music and replay like the same movie 25 times just because it's background noise and stuff like that. So I'm getting used to it. Everybody's trying to turn me on to Netflix and Roku and I don't know what else is out there.
I just found out about that. Don't
There's
worry.
a Fire Stick, the hack version,
So where did you serve and for how long?
I served in a branch called the United States Marine Corps. I served in 3rd Battalion, 3rd Marines, and that's located on the beautiful island of Oahu on the Kaneohe side, or what they call the windward side, where all the wind comes from. And from there, I did most of my training there, other than boot camp. Boot camps held in San Diego, and infantry training battalion. For my job, I was an infantryman, and so we do all of our training over in San Diego. And then we get moved over to our duty station. And so that was my duty station, 3rd Battalion. Actually, it was 2nd Battalion, 3rd Marines. First, I was with Fox Company. So I did mostly all jungle training. So the greatest parts about me is I grew up in the 80s and I liked watching Rambo. So, yeah.
Kids crying.
So, growing up in the 80s and watching Rambo and all that jungle stuff is like, hey, we got to do stuff like that. That was fun, man.
Yeah.
So did that, and then somewhere down the line, after 9/11, we got sent to Bridgeport. So we did high altitude training, and then high desert training, and then after all that, then we got sent to the big sandbox out in Afghanistan, and that was fun. So I saw combat out there, shot some people shot at me, and it was a good 8 years of learning what it is to be self-reliant. And I guess in a sense they say it kind of mans you up. I always heard there's two things that are gonna man you up: prison or the military. So, yeah. So growing up where I grew up in Fresno, yeah, where nothing comes from. It's like the no. Like, where'd you grow up? The no. I was like, what's there? Nothing, because it's like no, It's like, so yeah. So I decided to leave in 1998 after I graduated. Did 1 year of college, and that was it. I was done. I was like, bye. And then I lived in Hawaii for like 18 years. I just got back, literally. Right when I met you, the first year, guys, I met you guys. That was like when I got back like literally like 9 months before I met you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. And so, but it's funny because people didn't know, like, they didn't know who I was, but I knew who everybody was because they were all like kids my age. Now they're all older. You know, and some of them have babies that I knew when they were just little babies, and now they, you know, they're trying to prove me like, "What's up, fool? Like what? Like, son, I'm the champ, champ, man. I'm a best champion in life. You know, man, I remember when you was in diapers, man. That's so cute. More power to you, man. I'm glad that your friends are all the judges and everything picking you. That's great. You stay a champion, man. I'm just gonna let you know you're not a real champion, but you know it's all good. You know, live it, like it, love it. That's how I roll.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Get your little dirt face away from me.
I got Big Johnny over here trying to step on me, looking like the big hairy man trying to step on me and stuff. Like,
get in the way, man. I'm doing my spins, grass dancing,
jumping bowls, dude.
doing my
Both
doing
of
my
you
twirls.
I was scared of this guy when he was dancing out there. I thought he was gonna step on me.
Never seen a big guy move that fast, huh?
Yeah, I never know. No.
It's the agility ladders, man.
It was like Fluffy, man. He was like, I didn't know they even moved me. Yeah, that's pretty much my journey, and then coming back here, and then you know just throughout wherever I've been, meeting elders and things like that, and like I said, just telling stories and all that, and then coming across just life lessons, just because I think people in this world, they need them because we get lost in just everyday life. I guess what they call the social norm, just 9 to 5 and going to work. And I mean, if you think about it, like we get put in lines a lot. When we're born, like they give us a little barcode and it's lines. When they put us in a ward, and then we're like covered and aligned, you know, one behind each other, beside each other, you know, things like that.
I got
and then we go to school,
Yeah, we get it.
and then we stand in line. You know?
We'll be cutting either.
And it's in the line. There's a line, a couple of students in front of you, some behind you, unless you're in the front row.
Some at Starbucks.
Yeah, so there you go. The Starbucks, you're in line. You gotta wait in line. There's always a line, man.
That's that line. That's
We're
Starbucks.
so institutionalized. Just that's the way it is. Is we forget that even as Indigenous people, we forget that there's more to it than that. There's be a total application of things.
On that, Michael, on that right there with the two worlds, how was it with the Marine Corps, fighting for that type of thing, right? And then fighting for Indigenous people on the other side. How did those two conflict with each other, with our mindset and then with the military mindset or Marines mindset?
It was difficult. Mentally, it was very difficult. Spiritually, it's very difficult because we have a mindset of I don't want to say that our people were naturally militant. I think that a lot of people that I've ever come across even on my reservation, they say like we were actually a loving people. We're a very giving people. We greeted people with open arms. That's why they took us over. They took our kindness for our weakness. It's only when it came to the threatening of our life that we have to stand up, really rise up and fight for our way of living. In the code of conduct, it says that, I'm American fighting force fighting for my way of life. So when I thought about that, I really had to think about one of those stars represents my state. One of those states, my land is on, where my people live. So I had to kind of see that mental breakdown of that ladder going from the big thing to a smaller thing to an even tinier thing. Say, my people live on this land, and I need to fight for them. And it's like people say, you're a corporate protector, man. Da da da. I was like, that was their agenda, not my agenda. Because when I raised my hand, I tell you what, bro, really, I think you heard me say it before, and it kind of breaks me down because
yeah, no, I'm feeling right now too.
When I raised my hand, I didn't think about me. I was thinking about your kids. I was thinking about my child. I was thinking about my daughter. I was thinking about her kids. I was thinking about my next door neighbor's kid. I was thinking about the kids. I wasn't even thinking about me. I was thinking about if I give my life, they're gonna have freedom, and my journey will not be in vain. That's the only thing I could think of. That was about the children, and I'm glad that kids are growing up. That we're seeing that the affirmation of who Indigenous children are. They have a place now. They have a voice. 7 generations stood up. No DAPO, KXL, all that. Now a lot of these kids are stepping out, getting education. Even you You're young. You're younger than me, roughly within the age demographic, but you guys have a younger following, a younger medium, a younger people following you, and that's great because you guys are shining examples of what it is. Hey, I'm gonna go get educated. I'm gonna learn some. I'm gonna get off my res and go somewhere and go to a college and show people this is what I'm gonna do,
It's possible.
and then take that and make something with it and go forward with it, be prosperous with it. A lot of people, they don't know that because they're just taught. People are always taught the struggle. So when they see the struggle, that's all they know. They grow up with the struggle. They see the struggle. They're educated by the struggle. So all they ever know is the struggle. But when you see past it, like I said, I was thinking about the kids. And then now I say, okay, I fought for my country. Great. He's a fighter. He's a veteran like everybody else. Cool. Now how do I step it up? I went and got my education afterwards. 36 years old, I went back to school, got my education. You know, got a certificate in literary arts. I have a degree in science and audio production. So I'm just like, if I could
Good
do it,
job.
anyone could do it, you know. And so I was like, we got to step it up. We can talk about it all we want, but there's no application. It's terrible. So the mindset, coming back to the mindset, I had to think way out there, just like that. I have to be a leader by example, and they teach us that in the Marine Corps. Leadership by example. Get in the dirt with your troops. That's the only way they're gonna respect you. It's like, dude, I gotta get in the books so these young people can respect me. You know what I mean? So I had to do that. It was hard, but I thought the big picture. It's like, kids. Once again, how am I supposed to be a leader and an example if I'm not doing it? You know, if I'm not applying it, all I'm doing is talking about it and not doing it. And it's like, I got to do it somehow. You know, I struggled, but living off of white rice and honey and whatnot. But it's like, all right, I'll get some ramen or eat out of the freaking vending machine or whatever. But it was there, and I made it happen, and I can say that. You know, I don't want anybody to ever just know that the struggle is the only thing they're ever gonna know. You know, that's terrible. There's more to life. There's a lot of free money out there. I don't understand why people don't know that. There's a lot of free money. Go to school.
They don't know. And it's crazy to
Right?
believe that some people just don't know or just don't apply themselves. But how were you able to look beyond where you were at? Look into like everything that you told me that you saw things. How did you get there? How did it begin for you to really
Well,
think like
to
that?
finish off the last question, I'll tie that one into this one. So it's like the mindset, I already had to see way out there about what I needed to be as an example. Then on the spiritual path, it was hard because, yeah, guess what? I put my name on a dotted line and it comes with a package. Someone's going to shoot at me and I'm probably going to have to shoot back. And I might have to take life. And it's not our way, but when 9/11 happened, think about this. This is very, 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 it's intense because there were black people in that building. There was Asian people in that building. There was Mexicans in that building. There was Native people in that building. There was other Arabic people and the other Middle Easterners in that building when those buildings went down. But yet those men who devised that particular travesty, they came for everybody. So they didn't care. They didn't care. So it's just like the same way, the inevitability of what death is the same. Did something that's out of your hands. In order for me to see past that, I really had to buck up. I had to really say, you know what? Hey, I am a sacrificial lamb. And if I go down, I'm going to go down as some kind of hero. I'm going to go down as something that's going to say, I'm forever remembered because I did something that was for the children, that was for the kids. And that's what drove me, because all I really thought was my daughter. That's all I could really think about. Like, I just want to let her know that I'm here for her, that I did this for her, that her kids will remember me by some story I might have done out here. And to turn it around, they say that when we go out there, we're in another place and we're a different person. That uniform's a shell. It's kind of like a robe that you put on and you have to become that. We call it the machine. We plug in and we don't feel nothing. We just go. When we come back, we have to go to a ceremony, call it a shrouding ceremony, or they call it dark dance. And so they take you in a place, and medicine men come and they do a specific ceremony to bring all the pieces that you left out there, all the different experiences that were trauma that were hit with something that wasn't natural,
Mm-hmm.
bring those people back to kind of put you back together.
Oh.
And so when you do that and you believe in it, all those nightmares and all the things that I was experiencing, they subside, they go away. It doesn't happen overnight,
Mm-hmm.
but it slowly go away. And I realized that I've been off my meds for a really long time. I didn't need to take them for a long time.
Could tell, man. I could tell.
Congratulations. Good job.
It's all good. I'm just a little more loonier than I was,
Go vegan.
So it came down to that, to where it's just like, wow, I really have to take my meds as much. I'm sleeping a little bit better, a little more calmer. Some of the training is still there. I still wake up when I hear stuff, and it's just because it's there. Repetition, some things are programmed, and they don't go away right away, but they're slowly going away. I don't feel so tense, I feel so diabolical when I'm thinking about when somebody is having a bad day and they yell at me or something for some stupid reason. I just realize it's just total stupidity on their half, rather than somebody trying to impede my integrity, as a good person. So it's one of those things. These are a lot of internal things I'm sharing with you, but it's a lot of constructive stuff that I'm sharing. And
Appreciate it.
I always say that even on my own casts, my own live streams, I say, like, I'm constantly trying to better myself. I'm reevaluating myself on a daily basis so that I can become a better person, so that old Michael, the evil Michael that we got in a fight with a while back and I killed him, Michael, he stays dead, So that's how I see it. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question in regards to like mindset and then the spiritual side, like how to get past it. Don't, oh man.
Totally went off the rail, man.
No, you did good. Thank you.
Let me see the other guy.
Yeah, I love Napoleon Dynamite. Yes, Napoleon Dynamite.
Oh, man.
But yeah, it's been a long journey, and I'm glad that I came across you guys. It's an honor, because it's like I want to say in the journey, it's been a little rough getting used to people, because just a trust factor that I've said a lot of things. I opened my heart to a lot of people and been really what I thought was close to a lot of people, and then they turned around and bent my old demons to make it sound like they were happening like right now. Like, I'm just like, yeah, okay, back in the day, I think we all did. We all used to drink. We all used to get high. We all used to do something stupid. We were addicted to something. But then there was people that turned around like, oh, he was a drunk, or he's a drunk, and I'm just like, dang, really? Like that's what you think about me? It's not what you said. It's that you thought of me that way. And I'm just like,
or still, huh?
Still, yeah. Still, and I'm just like, it breaks my heart, because it's just disappointment. Wow, you said all this standard of what love is and what it is to reach out to fellow natives and pick each other up, lift each other up, but then you're over here dogging me like, wow, you use my past against me to make yourself look good and make me look terrible. I thought about that, and it's like, you ever seen that one that says, yeah, it takes about 6 pallbearers to lift you up and take you to your grave, Like, sit there, it's like, wow, it takes 6 people to lift you up and put you in your grave. Imagine if we had 6 people on a daily basis picking us up to lift us up to make us a better person.
Wow.
Like, I don't know why we don't do that. Christians, Mormons, Apostolics, Catholics, they will come and knock at your door and say, hey, do you want to come to church? And they make it sound so good. They make sure that they come and invite you to church. Native Americans, we don't do that. It's like, man, hey, don't tell that guy what a ceremony is. Hey, there ain't don't be talking about sweat and you live down the street. Like, hey, how come you guys didn't tell me about no sweat? Like, they'll just keep on talking. Like, damn, like, dude, you could have saved somebody's life, bringing them to sweat. Like, what?
$50
like,
membership.
Right, exactly. Hold on. Where's my card?
$50 membership in my backyard in front of everybody. All my neighbors. I got invited to one of those, man. I was like, what the hell is this about?
Really?
I was like, what the?
You know, there's people like that, and it's sad. It's sad, and I look at our own people. You know, I would hate for us to romanticize something that to where if you can help somebody, help them. I was always taught when I got my rights to pour water as a spiritual leader, things like that. If you have medicine, share it. You know, that's what it is. And it's like I see you guys do that. You guys are constantly talking to people. You guys are constantly sharing some kind of vibe, and people dig you guys. That's all I've ever heard was like, man, Johnny, hey, you know his woman, you know that family, and they'll go and they'll just start butt, and it's like, am I standing here with them or am I standing here with you? You know, it's like because they have that vibe you left with them, and that's a wonderful thing. So to me, I think that's a form of medicine, that good vibe. You have a family goal or family orientated goal to where it's like you're going somewhere with what you guys are doing, just with your family, your immediate family. And so, yeah, I understand. Hey, marriage ain't easy. It ain't. It's not all peachy keen, and all it takes work. It takes a lot of work.
Got a good wife.
He's lucky. He's lucky.
Yeah, you're lucky, bro. You're lucky. Mexicans are proud people, man. They're proud people. Yeah, they're very proud
Those
people, bro.
Hichuayas, huh?
What does that mean?
Devils.
They're not ropes. They're not ropes. They're wires. They're wires, man.
My mookie right here.
Oh, your monkey?
My monkey.
His aunt told him how to say wife in his language, Yolumni, and she said Mookie. And then he was like, Johnny just responded right away, my monkey? Oh, you're my monkey? Okay, hi, monkey. That one stuck around for a while. You guys are the best, though, really. I think as much as I've ever heard anything about you guys, it's wonderful to hear that you guys place that kind of, I guess, what is it called? Like a stamp or a stain or a branding on people to where they repeat what you guys say. That's what I was saying. I was like, man, I'm like I said, I was like, am I standing here with you guys or am I standing here with them?
And man, I hate that though. Honestly, like me and my sister growing up, we were always like the good in school, do good stuff, and do sports and all that. And people would just talk about us like that the same way. And me and her had this natural reaction, in Indian culture or res culture. We're like, stop talking about me. Everybody's going to talk about me and how good I'm doing and all that stuff, or get jealous of me and stuff. And I'm just like, both of us have that wire in our brain, like, leave us alone. like we don't accept it as in that way, kind of a way, because you know how the res talks and all that stuff.
You're like, I'm just me. I'm not that special. What?
Yeah, I'm nobody.
Yeah. And I say that too.
Leave me alone.
I love you. I love my bed.
Well, we always talk about that though.
But it's amazing, that people have that ability. They have that ability to be able to have that impact on people, and it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I bet you guys walk in stores and it's just like you guys. It's just like you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then like literally like 2 minutes later, there's like 150 people that just show up to the store and just like, where did these people come from? They just like the vibe. People want that goodness, so they gravitate to it. You guys are like gravitas, and people are gravitating to gravitas. And that's just what happens. It's a wonderful thing. So that's the way I see it. So I'm just like, when I say things to people, I say, man, I ain't nobody. Like, you don't like me, go kick rocks. I don't need to hear nothing. If I wasn't here, you guys would have nothing to complain about. So it's like, all right, turn it off.
Yeah, I'll complain that I don't have you here. Like, where'd you go? We miss you.
I'm in the know. That's where I'm at. See? I've been here the whole time. But guess what happened? I'm in the know, so it's just like the predator camouflage. It just like bends light. I'm like, hey, I'm here.
No, you don't answer your live, but I'm trying to live chat with you.
Wow, but you just, oh man, see, you playing with me now, dog.
Yeah, what's up now?
Yeah. I don't have anything else to make, stuff fall off the walls right now. So
I know you're talking like that, man.
it's a no-no. It's a no-no you said already, so can't do that no more. But
Okay,
yeah. Mhm.
so I have a question.
Right on.
Okay, because I met you through Johnny. I don't know if you met him or did you meet him like with when we were already together, or did you meet him before me? And if
I
so,
met
how
him.
did you guys meet?
I met him just before. It was like literally like you guys must have been on the cusp somewhere getting to know each other.
Oh, we get
But
to know each other.
I met him at I don't remember what powwow it was. I met him at, and we were just talking about dancing, this and that, and
It's that grass dancing vibes, man. We all
yeah,
stick together. That's what
yeah,
happened.
that sort of thing. Yeah, it
Like,
was
who
like
are
that.
you? Okay, cool. What's up? Let's go, man.
So, yeah. That's pretty much what he says. Oh, hey, what's up, man? All right, let's go get it done. So it was like, cool, let's go get it done.
Aww.
Let's go get started. All right, let's go. Let's get going, bobbing heads and everything. All right, let's go. But that was it. And then I remember it was like the Children of Many Colors. You were there at that one. I don't know if you were there yet, but I know that he would disappear every now and then to get on the chat line.
No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Some I don't know. I
Go
don't
away on this
know.
part. Okay, remember that one?
Who was
And then
that one, huh?
I
All right.
remember it
Who
was
was
like,
that?
yeah, I think it was
That nice blonde.
this guy. He really wanted an Indian name.
Well, India, huh?
Did she get it?
I don't know anything about that.
Hmm?
I hear nothing about that. But I just remember I think it was a couple powwows after that I was kind of on and off. I was kind of get settled in into California, and then I met you, and you were with him. So I was just like, oh, okay, cool, right on. People doing things, cool, right on. Not that I knew what was going on, but I just when people was doing things, all right, it's cool. Y'all hit me down.
Nosy guy, nosy. Why she's
Oh
gone?
man. So yeah,
Oh, that was
that
like in
was
what,
that was a journey I
2012-ish,
did.
right?
Yeah, 2012. Yeah,
Around there.
2012, 2013. Because I clearly remember I had like I think I had like a traffic infraction in Hawaii, and I had to like fly back to like fix it, else they weren't gonna let me have my license back or something. It was
Damn.
crazy, like it's
Yeah.
terrible. So I had to fly back and handle all that. And,
Oh, you
so
get to
it
meet
was all
you get
the settling in kind of thing that I was doing.
you get to meet the new guy now.
Yeah, man, I've seen that. I've been looking at your posts and seeing your
Four
living on
months
there.
now.
Wow. I don't know who do you look like.
Don't look like me.
It's okay. Don't put pressure on him.
Oh,
Grow
okay.
into his own little self.
So yeah, I mean, like I said it's good to meet you guys and be a part of your world and whatnot. I'm glad that we have time. We have time to talk and get to know one another and revisit one another since the whole COVID shutdown and things like that. It's kind of
People have just had to learn how to live differently. And I feel like with this COVID, it's forced a lot of us to see within ourselves because we're home now. We don't have all these distractions. And it's been I'd say it's like good and bad with what's going on. But working from home, I find it harder. Going back to the two worlds, I find it harder with having kids and the business at home, which normally or for other people, it's more of their like off time because they're not working at their 9 to 5 job.
Mhm.
And then I have to figure out, okay, within the home, how do I find for myself, or when can I learn something, or who do I speak to reconnect or learn some more things. And so that's where in one of my previous videos I said, like, he pushes me, or I've learned from him, from his side of his culture, learned some spirituality things that has helped too. And even if we're just conversating about something that feels like, okay, we're speaking on it, we're learning on it, or feeding off of each other, and that sometimes is just enough for me. It's like, okay, that's enough, like touching into that, into culture, that it's like it fed me for a little bit, and then okay, now I gotta go attend to the kids or do something else. And with the powwows being gone, I feel like that's something like a little bit less of us just being able to go out there and getting into culture, being with everybody, and like you said, like saying stories or teaching one another something that the other person didn't know. And that's just one of the difficult things going on right now. But again, I am able to see like other things differently because we're all at home.
Right. Yeah, I think this is a good time for everyone. I think, in a sense, somebody told me, or actually, my good brother, his name's Jeff Lujan, and he was saying that our people were a solitary people. Like we really took time to be with one another. And amongst the way that we lived, we were very solo people at the same time. If we didn't have to interact, then we didn't interact. We just catered to our home, to our family. So this shouldn't be anything new to us, but yet it's just like in the feed, I see a lot of these leaders like, oh man, I miss my friends, and I miss powwow, and I miss going out, and I miss going to do this and that. I'm just like, someone didn't teach you something about our history, like a real, the way that it really was, you know, just like, because we didn't really need all that. You lived a life for yourself, and you lived in the moment. There was no future plans, this and that, because at the time when we went hunting, guess what? You were being hunted too, because there was flat-faced bears and saber-tooth tigers and all kinds of crazy stuff that was out there. So you didn't really go out. You stayed home, you stayed safe, and you catered to your family because you knew that any given moment in time could have been your last. And so why do you think we have such rich culture? Because we focused on ourselves. We really honed into ourselves to derive everything that we were feeling on the inside and put it on the outside and share it with one another. That's why I say it's like when you take pictures with, you know, people when they're wearing regalia, it's like you're taking a picture of their spirit on the outside. So it's kind of like, you're
That's
not supposed to be. Yeah. So it's one of those things that we got to learn to accept. And I think it's a good time for healing again, because I say a lot of people don't deal with their inner demons. They have flight response. They want to go out because they don't want to deal with themselves. They want to go do this because they don't want to deal with themselves. You know, they want to go to the movies and forget about whatever they're going through because they don't want to deal with themselves. Now you're at home. Now you have to deal with yourself. And it's
now you gotta clean the house.
Shut up, you. You have to deal with your mess.
So I think that I think it's a beautiful thing. I think it's a constructive thing. I think that it's something that we need to go back to. You know, they don't say we're going into the future. We're actually going back to the future, which is really strange. It's like literally the movie. We're going back to the future. You know? So those are the things that we have to do. We have to go backwards to really find ourselves and find what we need. And you know, I thought about you, Yendi, one time. We did a geneticist.
What?
And what happened was we found out that we have relatives that of Mexico.
You're cutting off.
You're
Hold
cutting
on.
off.
All I heard is genetic.
Yeah, so we did a geneticist test. Let me see if you guys got me. Am I clear? You guys can hear me?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Can hear you. Can't see you, but can hear you.
So what happened was, when it came back, the test said that we have relatives, bloodline relatives, down in the Sierra Madres of Mexico. And they belong to an indigenous tribe, and they belong to what they call Dayu, or Otomi people. And so it made me really like look at how my family was kind of raised, in a sense that we have some of these cross-cultural traditions. And I was like, now I really want to learn. Well, I want to now, because It's like that language is going to show me something. It's a genetic codex that brings things to life inside us, and that's what they talk about in regards to our languages. You know? So I thought, I was like, dude, I should tell Yendi this. You like flip out. What is it?
Dude, you know more than I do.
I've been on the Mexican tribe too, yo. Yeah. I already thought you were the first person to pop in my head. I don't know. Wow, this is really cool, man. You know.
We're talking about them Jaguars.
Yeah, Jaguars. You know. Yeah. They say time exists because we make it exist. You know, it's like if you film the car, you know, driving by, and then you just fast forward it to where you wouldn't be able to see it, you wouldn't know that it existed. But because it's slowing in time, you know that time exists. So time makes us relevant. You know, so it's like that's why I enjoy having time with you guys. You know, it's like, yeah, good vibe, good time. So yeah.
Touch up on something.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
It's in depth. You know, I was going to talk to you guys about your clothing line, clothing label. And I was remembering I was reading because I think I had gotten into maybe the wrong field of work. I want to say I probably could have got into fashion design, you know, and I probably would have, you know, went well with it because I make ties and bags and belts and things like that too. And I was reading in Vogue that there was a Ojibwe crew, Anishinaabes from up north, that they actually belong to Delana White's family, which Maggie White's, I think that's her granddaughter, Maggie White, the one who invented the jingle dress dance. She was featured in Vogue, that they did a feature in Cosmo, and that someone in
You're cutting off again. Hold on.
okay, no problem. I'll wait.
Let's get back together, connect.
Yeah.
Go outside and get up on the roof. Do something. You got it.
Hang from it. Moving the server
Green
around.
Lantern that. Green Lantern it.
You guys got me? You guys can hear me?
Okay, it's getting better.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I was saying was that there was a clothing line that was put out by the Anishinaabe people from up north, and they got featured in Vogue, they got featured in Cosmo, and I was like, wow, that's amazing. But when they started posting this stuff on Facebook and they started posting on social media, it kind of upset me because there was people that were from the same tribe or in the neighboring tribe, and even some people from the same powwow circuits that they travel over there. They were saying, oh, all of a sudden everybody wants to be Indian because a bunch of Indians made themselves famous, you know. And I was like, dang, that was so cold-blooded, you know. That was so wrong on so many different levels that someone actually said that, and it was from their own tribe. And then I felt bad because there's other natives that were trying to do that. They were trying to hit the mainstream so that we as indigenous peoples can have that, what we call indigenous identity, called as a part that belongs in the world. We're not just people that, oh, they live on the reservation, they live in teepees, they live in huts or whatever. That's what people think that we do, but it's like, no, we're normal people just like you trying to make a living too. You know, but it really threw me off because I was just like, man, I hope these guys never get treated that way with what they're doing. I hope that nobody ever says anything like that to them. And then at the same time, hope that you guys never forget where you guys came from with it, what the vision of, you know, your clothing line was, because now those guys, they made hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, all this and that. And it's just like, so what did you do for your people with all those hundreds of thousands of dollars? You know, it's like, did you give anybody a job? Did you refer anybody? Did you write a letter of recommendation at least for someone to get a job? You know, or did you propose your designs to be marketed with some kind of royalties and loyalties so that someone can be a manager or overseer to make sure those designs get properly distributed, so that that money continues to flow and that somebody has a job monitoring it. You know, like there's so much you can give back to the people with, and I'm just like, but you don't. We never heard the after effect of them coming into their mini fortune and going mainstream.
That's the always thing. You never hear the follow up or the aftermath or anything after a successful project or whatever.
Yeah. And so it kind of made me feel some kind of way, because my goal, I'm gonna put this out there in the universe, and whoever hears it, I'm happy if you hear it. I wanted to do just a small business license with services rendered, make ties and bags and, you know, just accessories, and see if I can gain an audience with like the designer from Coach or like Louis Vuitton, and then sell my designs and just say, I don't want no royalties. I don't want no royalties at all. I'll sell you my designs for $500,000. I want one overseer for a duration of 1.5 years so the design can be put out. After that, it's all you guys. As long as I see one person carrying my bag or wearing one of my belts, I'll be happy. I'm just like, I made $500,000. I'm good. I'm not trying to be a rich person. I just want to just show people, yeah, I can do it. Yeah, and then say, all right, here, check it out. With this, I'll invest somewhere else. This way, people will have a job monitoring what I've given them. This way, they're earning it. So it's just like, all right, hey, you're gonna monitor my money. You're gonna monitor my stocks. You're gonna monitor this. You're gonna be a supervisor for this area, and then now you have a job. I did something for my people. Cool, you're at it. And then actually list that. You know, put that in an article somewhere that, hey, this is what he did with his $500,000. He helped his people out. This way, people could see the after effect of the big project, you know.
Yeah.
This way, like, oh, he just took his money and left. You know, it's like that's like going to a UFC fight. You win like $50,000 in a fight, and you just leave. You know, like what? Like where did he go? He got all bloodied up and just took his money and left. You know.
Remember, I told you your tie was featured in a movie, or was it a video, a commercial?
Yeah.
Something like that. I saw his tie somewhere, and I sent it to him. I said, "Hey, look, I saw you," and he was like, "Cool, that's cool, man. That it's out there."
I picked out on that. I really did. I was like, "What?" And I don't even have a picture of that tie. I think I have one picture, and it's like on somebody else's hard drive somewhere. And I was like, "Dang, dude, it would have been nice to, you know, have that." But I've seen a lot of my ties up in Canada, which is really strange. I've seen a lot of pictures of people wearing my tie. I'm just like, dude, call me. I want to tell you the story about that tie. Like, I want to tell you there's a little story behind every tie that I made, you know, where the design came from, how I got inspired by the colors.
I still got mine. Everybody loves
I see you straight, dude.
Captain America and Hulk.
The Hulk, yeah. But I want to do a series on my ties one of these days. I want to get it done, do the whole Avengers set, and then I want to do like a whole Justice League set, and then do some other cross one somewhere down the line. But I'll get there one of these days. I just have so many other projects that I'm doing all at the same time, so I'm kind of like really spread thin. But,
make a to-do list and go one by one. It helps.
Yeah. Then throw it in the trash and then rock out.
Oh my god. That's why I'm in charge of the to-do list.
Like I'm looking right now, like I'm looking at the camera, but I'm like, I see there's projects like sitting right in front of me. Like I gotta make a sheet for everything. There's like whistle bone sitting in front of me. I gotta finish, and I'm like, wow.
Can you talk about that? Can you talk about that a little bit? The whistle.
The whistle bone.
Oh, whistle. Okay, yeah. Okay. Kind of caught me off guard, but yeah, we can talk about that. Yeah, we can talk about that. So, okay, since we get to talk about that, I get to tell a story. You guys, somebody else's platform, and I get to tell a story. This is cool, right? Hopefully, we'll get clear.
This is why we brought you on.
Just come in clear, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Fix your antenna.
Yeah. So, this is what I was taught by a fellow Six Nations guru. I believe I think it was Crow Dog shared this story with him, and then he passed the story to me. So his name is I want to say his name is Adrian Paulus. He was the one who shared the story with me, and he told me, he says it was a long time ago, and because a lot of these stories take place where like the Earth was still settling, so there was a lot of different entities that were roaming around. The Earth was moving around. And so he says that there was even monsters and beasts, and there was dinosaurs, things like that. And they said that these monsters were going village to village, and they would hear from their scouts that these monsters were going village to village, and they were eating people. And so all the warriors, they would get armed up. When they would get all armed up, they would go out, and they would go try and fight these monsters. So one of the villages got left just with their women, their children, and their old folks. And so when that happened was these monsters came into that village, and they say one of the great eagles came down and saw that that village would have gotten decimated. They would have gotten eaten, you know. So when that happened, a great eagle, they said he landed on the tree of life. At the time, they don't know what the tree of life exactly was. They say, oh, it was a big great red pine, or it could have been a big sequoia, could have been a big cedar tree, it could have been a big conifer of some sort. They knew that it was a particular medicine tree. And so that the eagle landed on there, and he opened his wings up. When he opened his wings up, he yelled, and he flapped his wings really hard. They said all the trees turned into spears, and then they went through the monster. They ran the monster through, and the monster fell. And the second monster got mad because his buddy just died. But he came, and he was going to try and fight the eagle. So the eagle raised his head up. When he raised his head up, the sap from the tree fell inside his throat. When it fell in his throat, he let that whistle sound out with that scream. And when he did that and he flapped his wings, they say that monster, he turned into nothingness. He just vaporized, just turned into nothing. And so the great eagle chief, he set up on the tree, and he told the people, when my body's given to you, you can use it for everything. There's medicines in here. Bones, for whistles, for spoons, for medicines, my organs, everything can be used. And so since that day, the people always remember when they found a fallen eagle, that eagle, the great eagle chief, saved them. And so they say that like all birds came from somewhere. So I say the great eagle chief is actually like a thunderbird. He has all birds in him. And so when he went away, all the birds separated. They all went to different places. And so it's like I have like this is it's not ready to be blown yet, but this is a bone right here. And we use these for spoons too. That part right there. They scoop medicines up with this. And they said that this bird helps you, and they feed you with this spoon. And that's a hawk right there. And then there's an eagle right here.
Eagle bone and hawk bone?
Eagle bone, yeah. So I'll show you the difference between the two. So you got.
Oh, and it's the same body part?
The same body part. This is the radial. This is the radial bone. What they call it the main bone also. But yeah, so we use these sometimes for spoons, scoop up medicine. We feed our patients with this at doctoring ceremonies, and they'll actually put water in here too, like a straw. They'll dip this in a bucket, and pick the water up, and feed that patient that water. That this eagle, because the eagle said, "Use all of me, and I'll help you. And you can call on me with this." They said it's a big thing when you hear one of these whistles go off. They say it's like you're talking to the Creator directly, because this eagle can go all the way up past the sun and brushes the Creator's face. And those are prayers that we're sending on this eagle. And so when you receive an eagle feather, it's like you have a piece of the Creator with you. So when you have that eagle feather, the pieces you have like the Creator's breath or his sweat, his touch, something touched that eagle, because he's taking prayers off of that eagle, and he's taking care of them. So when you have one of these eagle feather, all that, you have a piece of the Creator with you. So these are very, very important, very, very important in a very spiritual sense, in a very physical sense, and even a very metaphysical sense. Because there's on this bone, it's not going to come in that clear, but there's indentations, like these little tiny bumps that go across this whole bone. And depending on where it's cut and where that whistle comes from when it's blown, they say that these vibrations have what they call a Omni Sound to them. That means they resonate all the way out to Pluto. So when you're blowing that whistle, you can be contacting beings that live way out there, like by Neptune, by Jupiter, by Mars in the Kuiper Belt. You contact them that far. So this is why we respect this. It's a very intense medicine when you receive one. So you got to be careful. Like some people, they're out there and they're just blowing whistles left and right. Don't really know what they're doing, you know. And then it's like you have to activate them too. You have to turn them on. So it's like I can cut this and I can blow it, and that frequency will go out there somewhere, but it's not going to be as strong. I have to actually take this to a ceremony and get it blessed a certain way. There's songs that got to be vibrated into the whistle itself, so that it reciprocates what it's meant to do. It's supposed to send it back out. So that's what we do with these things. You got to turn them on. You know, like a light switch. In order for the light to be shown, you have to turn it on. So that's how I was taught about these particular instruments. You know, it takes a long time.
And just like the eagle feathers, people earn it or is
Yeah.
gifted by someone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's what it is. It's earned. It's given. Like when I received mine, I received like 9. I received literally like a bundle. It was like a bundle that thick of just 9 different hawks. And an elder told me, when you make a whistle, that's when you're going to be ready. Nobody ever taught me how to make it, so I broke them, I cut them open, bent them, falling apart. Like, man, sitting there thinking about it, like, oh man. I think my teeth are crooked. Seems like, so crooked because of that.
Hawk teeth. Eagle teeth.
So yeah, and then this one day I made one and I called them up and said, hey, I did it. It was okay. Now you got to bring that to ceremony and we'll activate it for you. This is going to be your way of life. And the way I was taught too up north, they used to use those during war too. So they would signal each other left or right or left. Particular move, we call it flanking movements, things like that. So a leader would have a whistle and he would send a certain whistle out, and the other leader over on the right end or the left end, they would hear that and they would know that was a signal. We would engulf our enemies that way. So some of them, they call them war whistles. Some of them call them prayer whistles. Some of them call them just a whistle. Someone say it's just a contact mechanism. It's kind of like a walkie-talkie, talking to each other from point to point. And so that's how I was taught about those whistles that way. So we respect it. We respect it because it's a tool, and it has multiple purposes: spiritual purposes, physical purposes, and then metaphysical purposes, which are now being, documented in science, that vibration and frequency actually weigh something. Actually, it affects us in a certain kind of way. So it's a beautiful thing to learn.
Energy exists? What?
Yeah, really. I turned a whole, I made a racetrack out of pure energy. You're not impressed.
Thank you for sharing that. That was interesting.
Very welcome. Yeah.
Did you want to share anything else for now, or something that you feel
this is
like
what I have. I want to talk. I wanted to say. I was trying to get something out in regards to you guys. I'm glad that.
You're cutting off again. Wait.
Pending. Loading. Buffering. FBI is watching us right now. Everybody.
Oh, I think the wind knocked his antenna out.
Uh-oh.
I think we're gonna have to do it over again.
Cut it out.
Or take them off and then bring it back on.
Yep. He's off. See what happens? You don't charge your phone? That's what happens. But yeah, there's some serious stuff with the whistles, and you got to activate certain type of medicine out there. And it's very important that you get that done too, because you just don't get stuff off the shelf, or you just make stuff just to make it. And there's certain protocols you have to follow and go by. Yeah, go buy it off the freaking vendors or whatever. I mean, it's all the intention too, what we like to talk about and what we share. I mean, a lot of stuff too, we can't really be sharing like this. And that's why I'm like, share what you could share.
Yeah, what you can. There's certain things.
Because that's that certain person's particular ceremony or their particular way that means something to them within their heart. So that means a lot too. So let me see if I can find this guy or not. If he just disappeared on us. Or...
No, go back to his, well, if he's not even on, there it is. You gotta request it.
Let Hide from the
Michael,
chat.
what happened?
Get back in. Request it.
Can you request us, Michael? The underscore.
There we go. Waiting on you, man. Had to hold down.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, see what happens? You don't charge your phone.
I'm plugged in, man. I don't know what's going on. Just, yeah. You would think that technology would get better as we got, further into.
I said the FBI cut us off.
Right. Yeah.
No, but I was just saying too about particular protocols you have to follow with, activating different types of medicines too. That you can't just go get it off the shelf, vendor, or whatever. I mean, there's a particular little nudge you have to go, or it's going to be a certain type of bad medicine, even if it's intent or not. Now, there's certain types of breaks or whatever that's in it, and we can only share a certain amount of type with, the culture aspect, the historic aspect of it, and even the spiritual aspect of it, because that's ours. It's me and that connection with that whistle. I mean, there's only certain protocols that I can share with you because that's mine, to protect me. So there's certain type of ceremonies.
Yeah. What I was going to get at, I had made notes. It was in regards to, spending time with you guys and understanding, where you guys come from, and actually putting a view saying this is a family going forward with their life and attaining something good for you guys. And I really thought about that. It was just like, people, I always see this in people's posts about people who are loyal and things like that, and it drives me nuts because anyone can be loyal. Anybody, literally. You can be there for anybody, anyone at any given moment in time, and support them in any which way you possibly could. But what I found out is someone can easily drop you after all your faithful years in service that you've ever been around their family. They will drop you for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
They will drop you for somebody that they've known maybe for 40 days. And I'm just like, wow, and that's sad. It's just because the mantra of the human conditioning about what it is to be popular, what it is to be, in the spotlight, in the limelight, those kinds of things. People buy off on that, that, hey, this person is popular. They're a champion. They're they're a movie star. They're a rapper, and all of a sudden they just forget who their real friends are.
Off of that too, I watched your last live, and I remember you saying that stuff too about the certain type of, savior, right? That person's going to save me, and that person's going to help me and benefit me because I need to be saved, or I'm waiting on someone else to save me, like that, right?
Yeah, like that. And I was just like, wow, it made me, I had to turn inside out and back inside out again. And I was just like, man, I go, look at that. I go, well, that's amazing, And then when you put value to it, like there's a family that one of my grandfathers prophesied about that was going to help me through my struggle of reintegrating here into California and then reintegrating into the civilian sector. And I didn't believe it at first. And then all of a sudden, this family stuck around, and they still stuck around. They continue to stick around. And even when I was pushing them away, they were like, we're here to help you. And then I put two and two together, and I was like, oh. And I can't really tell the details of the ceremony because it's a ceremonial thing, but those individuals exist because of that that being prophesized. And I was just like, wow, because to this day, they've helped me the most. They really have. They've been constant supporters. They come and visit. They'll make sure even some of my bills are paid, and I didn't even ask for that. So I was just like, wow, it's crazy like that. But overall, I think about you guys, and I was just like, wow, out of the blue, you guys just like, hey, we want to have this this podcast going, and I was like, wow, you know what? Because I know I miss you guys internally. I may not express that. A lot, but I know that we all have lives, we have family, we have jobs, and we have things we need to take care of. And it's just like, I'm not going to be a bug and like, hey, what's up, man? How come you guys don't text me back? Or how come you guys don't say nothing back? Or I know people got lives, You guys got to be real, because the way I see it, fake people got a lot of time on their hands if they're constantly complaining about real people. And they can post like 15 times in like 45 minutes about complaining. That's just like, what? You complain about complaining, you know? So, but that was one of the things about loyalty I was thinking about. I was just like, wow, you know, of all people, I don't have very many friends, and then I have Johnny and Yendi asking me to be on this podcast. I was like, wow, I felt really like I was like crying before all. I was like, damn, man, like
You're a friend, okay?
they remember me.
It's
A little crybaby now, this guy. A little crybaby.
okay. Crying is okay.
I'm a sister Lala, dude. And like, oh, my face is still shiny from all my tears and stuff. Like, what? Yeah. But I
No,
thought
of
that was
course.
beautiful.
We completely understand that too. Like we see it. Like people have lives. We can't just depend on to live our life by waiting for other people.
Loading again.
Oh.
Loading.
I hope you can hear me.
This thing on?
Mm.
Really Yendi's train of thought. There you go.
Okay, there he is. Yeah, we completely understand. And if you're a friend, you're our friend. You're our friend. Like we're not gonna forget about anybody. We're not gonna forget about you. You're our friend for life, and we're honored and we're happy to have you on here. And because we know you know a lot of stuff too, so it's pretty cool. Like to share more stuff with one another. Hey, our daughter learned how to do this. So when we're in the car, she goes, "Mama, Mama."
Yeah, I didn't. I wanted to like, if we were to close out, like, I just wanted to leave, I guess, everyone, even us, because maybe we forget, and because I know I do sometimes. And you know, being of mixed descent, you know, now that we found out we got technology, you know, I'm like, you know, we have Mexican tribes in our family, and we have, you know, we're from up north, Seneca people, and we have, you know, Mascalero, Apache, and that's a big mix. You know, we have a little bit of Italian somewhere in there, and I sit and think about like our identification as indigenous peoples. You know, how do we acknowledge ourselves as our identification as being a person that's brought up this way? You know, we're just brought up this way. We didn't ask to be brought up this way. It fell into the cards. The universe brought us up this way and put us in the mix. Even if you learn it later, you're still being brought up in that way. You're learning it. And I thought about it like, how do we think about American indigenous identity, okay,
Like
and its intersections with other racial identities? How are we supposed to think about that? Because we have natives that from Canada that marry like an Aztec dancer that's from Mexico, and they have kids, you know. So how are we supposed to think about that when we have these bias, when we have these separations amongst registered natives and non-registered natives, city natives and reservation natives? You know, these are finite lines of separation where we actually have to think about, okay, who's brought up with what. A lot of reservation Indians think, oh, I'm Indian because I live on the res. But everybody wants to be Indian until there's some Indian stuff to do, you know? It's like, and they don't do nothing Indian.
See,
you know?
right there too. That's what I like to tell people also. Like, you know how the foreigners come to America and they know more than the Americans do? Like when they get their green card and those quizzes and everything of who the president was or what's this right here. That's what I compare it to because most of those res natives don't really understand or comprehend a certain subject that, you know, what it takes for spiritual, like you just said, oh, I'm Indian, and that's it. Okay, what are you practicing? What's a certain thing, you know, do you language, whatever. That's how I kind of compare it to the regular day person of that particular subject. A lot of people don't know that about America, really, too.
Yeah, so I wanted to leave that out there. You know, how do we think about American indigenous identities and its intersections with other racial identities? You know, this way, when we're here, we're not forgetting about that. When we're here talking amongst each other and people are listening, we're not forgetting about them either. We're not excluding them and just saying, hey, this is just an Indian podcast. You know, we're just like, hey, there are intersections of history. There are cross-cultural histories, and we do share similarities. And a lot of people talk about to all my relations and don't even know what that actually really means. You guys are such hypocrites. You guys are turning bias into racism, and you guys are being hypocrites with that phrase. Don't say it if you don't know what it means. And so that's my concern with people, because I love people and all I want is the best for everyone, and for them to find the best version of themselves to be a better person. Especially as Indigenous peoples, we have stuff that's so rooted that goes back up to the very making of our particular tribe, our particular being, particular makeup. We should be proud of that.
Mhm.
You know?
And I'm hoping that with this,
It's
with the
just a simple
podcast
thing.
and sharing stories with other people, that we can bring that, let's say, like, bring that will to other people. Like, you're Indigenous, you're powerful, you can learn, or it's in you. And like you said, like, you know, there's Indigenous people all over the world. It's not just like one
Aborigines.
is right, one is wrong.
Right.
We all have
Exactly.
similarities. Thank you for bringing that up. That's a really good one.
Stop hoarding information.
Yeah, exactly. I will continue to not hoard information.
Thank you.
What does that word mean again? That's a really big vocabulary word right there. Well, vocabulary is a big word too. And that's But yeah, I wanted to put that out there and just leave that with the people and say, you know, really think about yourself, really
Mhm.
reevaluate yourself, and really try and understand yourself first, where you come from, and then the only way that I think that we can bridge gaps in regards to one another is kind of treat understanding and empathy with love. You know, have a little bit of patience for the person that's still learning, and then have a little patience for the person that probably thinks they know everything, and have a little bit of patience with the person that's trying to be the teacher and trying to share it the best way they can, because we're not all good teachers, but we do try. And if you have a passion for it, you really do try. Like, you really emphasize that kind of teaching for everybody. So that's what I want to bring up in that regard. You know, how do we think about our American Indigenous identities, and its intersections with other racial identities, because like I said, we have a long history, and it's like now we've just debunked, you know, the whole land bridge theory, and we're finding out that our people lived here 10,000 years ago with a culture and a writing system.
Mhm.
You know, wow.
And the
You know,
numbers.
yeah, right. We had codexes and things like that. So it's a beautiful thing that if we can interconnect and have empathy with one another, a little bit of patience with one another on how each other's learning is, and see from everybody else's moccasins, that in time, you know, as an Indigenous peoples, we will be able to unify and not see each other as, like, I hear it all the time. It's like a lot of my friends from up north say, "Oh, those Mexicans, oh, those Mexicans." I'm just like, you know that the Mexicans make up 65% of the Indigenous count. Yeah. So you guys need to reevaluate yourself, you know, in regards to that. But that's it. Like I said, we can leave that out there, and then that'll be a whole nother cast, and we can stem off a whole nother, you know, minutes of
Yeah.
answering that different angles. You know. But I
We,
want to leave that out there for you guys,
we can touch
thank you
on
very
that
much.
next time. We'll have another
Yeah,
conversation, and that will be our subject.
yeah, definitely.
We could do that.
It's already solved, man. We're something else. Categorized already.
Yeah,
What's going on? Just shut it all down.
I don't know what to say. That's probably why we're getting shut down. They don't want us to say that. Like, oh, there's something else.
Oh.
Our star ancestors are coming to save us, so they're shutting us down, man.
Hey, going back to when you said that there was a designer that got featured on Vogue and Cosmo,
Mm-hmm.
we and how they were getting critique, right? You said that
Yeah.
they were getting critique. So far, we haven't gotten any critique. But I think it's because we keep it neutral. We don't hit any like major designs, or we don't go and use a sacred design from a tribe too. Like, we keep it pretty neutral. But I think us being us, like you said, like, we bring in that good vibe, I guess. But we've been blessed enough that we've been okay. We haven't gotten it bad or have had anybody claim something that we've put out there because again, we use
You want to teach me the Indian, huh? Come on.
Oh my god. we make stuff that it's everyday wear and it's like neutral patterns. So I think the only thing we might get critique from is from doing the podcast or speaking on subjects that others don't want to speak on. And us having a platform where we can freely speak on things without being criticized or trying to come to a medium like as to what we're speaking on. But we've been blessed and everything's been okay on that part. But we're not gonna forget anybody. If we make it big, we're gonna bring everybody along with us. And one of my original, and I still want to do this, but how everything's going on now, I don't know. Things may change up a little bit. But my original idea was like, as the business got bigger, I wanted to hire Indigenous people. I wanted, if we're still up, if we go back to Thule, I think we will move back on. But I wanted to hire people that if they wanted to sew, I'll teach them. If they want to go into financing, let's say like accounting, like, okay, you want to learn that? Like, we can give you some experience on that with our business. Or if you want to learn fashion, like, okay,
entrepreneurship.
Come
I
on,
love
like,
entrepreneurship.
I'll help you out, like I wanted
cannabis.
I want to empower others so they learn and know, and they can, if they want to venture out with that, like, that's good. Like, I want to teach you so you can grow and make something of that for yourself and grow on. And I mean, right now with the pandemic, we can't do much with that, but that's still something that I wanted to do. It's just like you said, like helping others, like, what are you going to leave behind? And that was one of our major things to do.
That's great. That's wonderful. In time, I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping exactly just we can all lift each other up and empower your group, and then your group can empower, your sect, and then your sect can empower your community, and then just keep growing. So yeah. But thank you guys once again for having me on board, and it's lovely, and I'm glad to see you guys. It's good to catch up, share some laughs, and just be our natural self on here.
This is my 12K tax write-off for business, man.
Oh, man. Have one more. Let me borrow them.
Keep it.
He's a rule, man. Look at that.
Mr. You for reals.
Anything else you want to say or speak on?
No, we covered a lot, man. a lot.
Okay. This might be kind of random to throw out there. No, wait. This might be kind of random to throw out there at the end of everything. But I wanted to bring this up earlier in regards to PTSD.
Right.
I've always heard of it, and I knew people struggle with it. I know that it's not something made up. I know it's something that people live with, that you live with, that you stuff that you've experienced in real life, like it comes to you or you still like relive it. I didn't fully understand it until I was watching, and it's cliche to say that I saw it in the movie, but the way that it was explained and made out in the movie, it finally clicked to me. Like, oh my God, like, it's crazy how people with PTSD, no matter what it is, how they see it, how it plays out in their mind, and how you're trying to learn how to live life on a daily basis, would you say, would demons be a bad word or a right word? Or
we call it, it's just a generalism of saying it's, multiple facets of things with multiple angles in which you're experiencing. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, that is crazy how what it actually is and how it how it happens. And I didn't really understood it or have the respect for people. Not like it's
Today,
hard to
Junior.
shut up. It's hard to explain. I'm trying to use the right words. I don't want to be disrespectful and sound naive, but it's you're strong. Let me just say that you're so strong to be able to deal with that, trying to cope with it and still live your life and trying to control yourself, and that's tough. And so I have so much respect for you, just trying to deal with it and trying to cope with it and trying to go about it like the spiritual way to deal with it. Again, I'm not trying to sound naive or be disrespectful, but
oh, you already passed that.
Shut
buddy.
up. But man, that's so crazy, like how it is, or how it is, or what you're dealing with. And somebody asked what the movie was. I already forgot what it was called.
See what I deal with? See what I deal with?
One of those forgetful things, you know.
Yeah.
That's happening.
Just to interject on like PTSD, we say post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, so us as military people, I would say, in any branch, we experience this because you are what they call sacrificing your humanitarian, your humanism, I would say, and you're dehumanitizing because there's protocols that allow governing within a giant mass of humans under one small place. And so when that happens, those protocols, such as, you can sleep when you die, they tell us that a lot. The body only needs 5 hours of sleep to be functional for the next 72 hours. So you only need 5 hours of sleep and you can function for 72 hours. It hurts. You have to condition your body that way. They tell you, like, let me see, pain is weakness leaving the body. They train us that way. And so the reason why we push ourselves to the extreme when we do extreme things is because we believe it, and we have to believe it in order for the mission to continue. The mission is paramount. They tell us that too. The mission is paramount. So nothing else matters but the mission, to get the mission done. Not life. Life doesn't even matter. So that's what it is. It's just, and then even in a cadence, we talk, when we're singing songs about how our funeral is going to be. We sing those kind of things, and it dehumanitizes us, so we don't feel anything about those things. They tell us too, when you see a Marine get shot down or whatever, you don't go get him. You go get his weapon, you get his ammo, you pack that stuff up, you leave him there. We'll come back for you later. We're not gonna leave anybody behind. But hey, guess what? If you're dead, that's a rifle down. We don't need another rifle down. We don't need somebody kneeling and crying over somebody's dead body. We need guns on the field. We need ammo to continue the fight, because the mission is paramount. You see what I mean? Like,
and then to come back or get out of that state of mind, that's hard, isn't it? Or it's just like,
they don't tell us how to turn it off either. They don't tell us that you can turn it on real easy, real easy, but they don't tell us how to turn it off. And so for my fellow veterans, those who have been in combat or those who have experienced what they call, that traumatic disorder, it's difficult to reintegrate because we think that everything, because of our social norm, it's a whole different culture. Our social norm is just that, It's like, you're going to talk to me a certain way. Guess what? You're sounding like a drill instructor, or you're sounding like somebody's in charge. So guess what? We're probably going to talk right back to you the same way. You come off rude, we're going to come back even ruder. If you're BSing us, we went to school to learn how to BS. So we become master BSers, so that when cameras are in front of us, we don't get in trouble for, shooting a guy in the ear because we just wanted to shoot him in the ear, just to make him hurt. So we know how to tell a lie, really politically correct lie, because we get taught these things. So these things are unnatural in this world, in this sector. We call it the civilian sector. So it's hard for us to reintegrate. So we have to relearn. We have to unlearn the things we learned. And then we have to go about our day. And then some of these things echo. We hear them all the time because it's repetition. Every day of our life, it's the same thing. Repetition, repetition, repetition. That's the only way a person learns those protocols, is by repetition. Same words, same exact words. I can tell you the whole I can tell you the whole cycling of the M16A2 service rifle because that's how many times I heard it. And it's like I just said that in the fastest sentence I could possibly ever said it in because I've heard it that way. The cycling mode of the M16A2 service rifle. I'm like, what? Like, why do I still know that? I'm 42 years old. I got out in 2006. What? Like, why do I still know that? It's useless information, but we get taught that because we have to understand the cycling mode of the M16A2 service rifle. In case there's a jam, we have to know how to get that weapon back up. You see what I mean? So all these things are still there. And so for you to understand where I'm coming from, what some of us experience is it's like Johnny right behind you. That's what it is. That's what it is. Somebody
like
in your
hovering
ear.
over me.
Yes. Someone in your ear telling you how to act, how to dress, how to feel, how to pour a coffee, how to drink the coffee, how to pour the coffee out, how to clean the pot, where to put the pot at, where to put the coffee machine maker at, where to put the coffee. Everything has its place, its protocol, it's covered in it's neat, it's squared away. It's all these things that we get taught.
I'm gonna grab him and then you grab him.
That particular set of principles in regards to the structure keeps us aware, alert, and organized. But in this day and age, when we're out here, we don't need that anymore. You know, we deserve to relax. We deserve to leave our bed messy. We deserve to, you know, hey, leave a dish in the sink. We'll get to it later, you know. But
no, not you though, not you.
These things are difficult, and because it's like a person that's right there. They tell us how we're supposed to act all the time, how we're supposed to be. So the best way I ever heard it was either you can live with a person in your ear the whole time telling you what to do, or you can see it like a deck of cards. A deck of cards, you can deal with a deck of cards. You can reshuffle it. You can reorganize it. Sometimes you'll get a good hand and you might just have a good day. Other times you might have to play the small numbers to stay in the game. Other times you just might have to fold and say, you know what, I'm not having a good day. You know, this is not my game today. And then go back reshuffling and wait till you get a good hand all over again. So if you see it like a deck of cards.
Cutting out.
No. I'm gonna change it.
Still there? There you go. There you go. All right, go.
Then and then like I said, you can reshuffle, but it's all choice. It comes down to choice. If you choose to live with the person next to you, going about your day, and it messes up your day, and it feels really terrible because you're just constantly, you know, you're even worried about how you're turning right, how you're turning left, because that all those things are still there. Versus if you have that deck of cards, you can reshuffle anytime, you know, and it's okay to just lay them down, say, okay, I fold. I'm not in it today. I'll get back to this game another time. And that's the best way I ever got taught how to deal with PTSD.
Makes
and
sense.
I try to tell my fellow veterans, hey, just reshuffle the deck because you can deal with it. You're not living with PTSD. You're dealing with PTSD. And so it takes just a little bit of time, but you have to see it that way. There's those three things. You got a good hand, you got to work the small numbers, or you just got to fold. And it's okay to do those things. And then it's okay not to be okay. Accept that. A lot of the time we try to be all macho.
Yeah, that's a lot of sense though. Breaking up again, but being okay with the okay to fail and everything too. That's a big, understanding. Understatement too. This thing on? There you are.
Gotcha. Yeah, there I am.
Dude, don't talk.
So
Not
like
on top of the roof.
we try to be all macho and things like that, you know, because we're all military, you know, we're airmen, we're soldiers, we're Marines, we're sailors. We try to be all tough and things like that. But we have to accept that it's okay not to be okay, you know. And it's hard because we're not taught that, and when we're in there, we're taught to just, you know, fight the good fight. The mission is paramount. So for those of you guys heard that part, you know, if you're dealing with veterans around you, you know, greet them, say hello, welcome back, welcome home. You know, give them a meal, and say, hey, it's okay not to be okay. If you need someone to talk to, you know, we're here. You know, I may not know exactly what you're going through, and it may not be okay, but I have an ear, and I'll do my best. You know, and that's all you can do. That's just a short-term thing. And if a person wants help, there's plenty of outsourcing to find it. You know, the VA hotlines, veteran hotlines. There's counselors. There's all that free. So you can inform your fellow veterans. You know, and some of it's hidden. It's hidden. We hurt a lot of the time. You know, we're broken inside, but you'll never know. We hide it very well because we're taught that. We're taught how to hide those things really well. So this is like now older veterans are now realizing that they've gone through stuff. So, you know, just FYI, I wanted to feed that part of the, you know, what you had expressed in regards to PTSD. And there's civilian versions of it too. There's civilian versions of my dad. He suffers from PTSD because his father used to beat him up and throw him out the window and do like crazy stuff. And, you know, he didn't know any better. And now, you know, later on in life, he's just like, man, my dad used to do some crazy stuff to us, you know. And this is why he's scared of riding motorcycles and things like that, because it's just, he just get thrown out the window, you know. So it's like, dang, you know, I guess it feels like that to him. Riding a motorcycle feels like flying out the window, you know. So, you know, there's those things to deal with. So, you know, it's to deal with, like I said. It's not a I'd rather not live with it. I'd rather be able to deal with it. So that's how I put it. So much love to you guys. Thank you for having me aboard. And you know what I always say?
What? Let us close it out. You're our guest.
You know what I say? You know what I say?
What?
At the end of everything? This is what I say, because it's really cool, okay? It's really cool.
That's why you want to close it out, huh?
No, well, because it's really cool, though, you know. But, so I learned this, but I kind of refined it myself. I say every letter, every word, every noise, every sound, every movement, every gesture, every expression has a meaning. When you apply that to every breath of your life, the world outside the door is an undiscovered country. So it's like when you break it down, it's intense, man. It's just like, wow, I know how to speak ant now because of it. You know, I know how to speak bird now because I did that. Like I paid attention, you know, because listening is not just listening with your ears, it's listening with your eyes, feeling with your sight. You know, people don't understand what those things mean, but to indigenous people, we didn't have dictionaries and thesaurical layouts of how structured writing and meanings of things are supposed to be. Our simplicity was our complexity. So we knew how to feel those things. This is why we could talk to animals and things like that, because we paid attention to those things.
We don't even have doors. Blankets.
Yeah, right. Sometimes you just came in, they didn't knock. And like, there's a bear in my house. Okay. Here and what?
Let me see your curtains.
He looks like he's hungry. Yeah. You know, always end my stories with that, just so that when you apply it, there's a whole. It's just like Animal Planet. You know, it's just like, I think I've watched ants for like 2 hours one time. I was like blown away. I was just like, wow, just because I said that, you know, every letter, every word, because they move their heads and they talk to each other and they tap the ground. And that's how they communicate. They make tapping sounds. They have a song in their legs. They're speaking to one another that way. They're giving each other instructions on where's what and how to keep the flow of things. And I was like, wow, you know, they actually move around like we do. Like when I talk with my hands. That's gesturing. They're actually doing that. They're actually gesturing, talking a language. When you pay attention, you're like, wow, I think I know what they're saying. You could figure it out, you know. So it's a beautiful thing to put that out there in that way, in a very big application.
You got it. I don't know what she took off here. Close this out, Yendi. Let's go. Let's go. Get this kid off of me.
Okay, Michael, thank you again for getting on here with us. We will do this again. We will touch on the how did you say it? American Indigenous.
Yeah. How we should think about American indigenous identity and its intersections with other racial identities.
There you go. We will touch on we will touch on that. And everybody that was viewing, thank you for tuning in. You can follow Michael at _road_soda. He does lives, he tells stories, he just shares his mind on there. They're very educational, like the way he thinks too is smart. Go ahead, follow him. We will post this on YouTube later on. It'll be on our indigenous traditions. And if you have any questions, I guess message us. But thank you for tuning in.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to say, Michael? How to finish up?
Yeah, hey guys, stay safe, wear your mask, stay blessed, wash your hands, wash your washer. About it. So,
Okay.
all right, guys, much love, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Michael.
We saw.
Bye. You want to say anything?
Peace.